This is gonna be great.
I'm so ready.
All right, so let's not delay this any longer. Let me bring up the music a little bit, because the music's actually pretty kick-ass. If there's anything good about this game, it's the music. Because Chris did a damn good job with it. But yeah, so back. Okay. Let's do this. What's your name? Master? Wait, who's texting me? Oh, that was Genevieve. My bad.
A while ago.
Oh, a long while ago. Holy shit, I'm an asshole. I am so sorry. I didn't realize he texted me. I'm just like, what the hell? Who's texting me in the middle of the goddamn night?
That was me saying, hey, my internet's broken.
Oh my god. That's funny. So what's my name? My name is Michaela. Because I'm a girl. Yeah, Alejandro. Suck it. I'm going to choose Sam this time around.
Oh, Lamau.
Fucking Lamau. Are you male or female? I am la female with a voice of Samantha Chan. Samantha Chan. Look at Samantha Chan. All right, there we go. Let's see.
Alejandro Sabe.
Alejandro Gab.
Yep.
Pretty much Alejandro Gab. Let's see. I was pretty sure that the story began with a meeting. Yeah. I can imagine it now. A bunch of girls waiting around until a guy shows up and gets all of their attentions.
All right, ladies, listen up. The winner has been chosen. I will display their information on the board now.
A picture of me would have appeared on some sort of screen showing everyone in the room who I was.
This person is a member of the lower middle class. They will be escorted to their new estate within 24 hours.
Can you all hear it? Like, that's the thing. Can you all hear it? Alright, cool. Just make sure. There'd be some chatter, but the guy behind this thing would stop everyone.
Now, as per protocol, we'll be accepting applications based on rank. The higher rank you are, the better chance you have of obtaining the position. Is there any...
I wish to apply.
You wish to apply. May I ask as to why?
She interests me. I think she'll be a good mistress to serve.
Patma, thank you.
Plus, she's kind of cute.
I'm so cute, guys. Patma, thank you so much for,
Is there something wrong
Why
with
is it
that?
autoing? Why is it autoing?
You're so cute.
If I'm so cute, goddammit, guys. But yeah, so.
This will be your first
Hey, what?
Yes.
Stop autoing.
Cute. Is there something wrong?
Preference. Is there auto? No. Why is it autoing? I guess I need to fix it later. Also, I probably should check the volume on Treasure, because it feels for me it's really quiet. Holy shit. Why is it so quiet? Nah, there's no way I can fix it. To be very real, so whatever. Is something wrong with that?
This will be your first time in the actual field. This will not be training or a simple simulation. Are you positive you are up for this?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, bro. Don't judge her. She's ready. She's ready to meet the brilliance that is me.
I'm ready for the love of my life.
Ready for all of this thickness.
Very well. As the highest ranking maid in the academy, your application will be automatically accepted.
Thick with 10
Please
C's.
prepare to be moved into the estate immediately.
Thank you.
Then the story would shift to me. Who am I, you ask? Well, funny story. Michaela, that's my name. I'm an average person living in a suburban town, and my life is pretty boring to say the least. I work a pretty average job, and I do a damn good job at it too. When I'm not working my butt off to pay my bills, I chill out and play video games in my room. Yep, that's my life. I can't say that my life isn't exactly unfulfilling, but I was very content with everything. I always had enough to pay my dues, and I always had extra to spend on buying new games and consoles. Judge me all you like. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, fuck off, haters. You fucking haterade. Gets a case of ligma. Lick my balls! However, one day my life had an unexpected turn while I took a sip of my cranberry juice. ASMR. I woke up as I usually did with a yawn and a stretch after rubbing my face a couple of times. For some fucking reason, got dressed and ate breakfast. Hello. Give Eric more rolls. Ugh. Work is so hot. Send lots of water and love. All of the water to Unseen Hot, guys. But thank you so much for the 100 bits. I didn't have much, but cereal was good no matter what kind of day it was. Yep. I didn't exactly have a lavish lifestyle. Luckily, I had the day off. It was nice to not have to work every day and to just have time to myself and chill out and recharge. I can fucking grammar. After breakfast, I went out to my mailbox and grabbed my mail. I walked back into my house and sorted through the mail in my hands.
Bill, coupons, magazine.
Then I saw it. I received a strange letter in the mail. It was closed with a red wax seal I can read, which should have been my first hint that something weird was going on. I opened it and pulled out a neatly folded letter. The stationery seemed to be like cardstock, but it had a golden trim. Second hint. The third hint was what the letter said. Salutations. If you are receiving this letter, you have been granted the opportunity to enter society far above economic class. Should you accept, you will be escorted to your brand new estate and will be briefed on your new duties as a member of nobility.
What the hell? What is this? Some kind of chain letter prank?
I'm gonna pocket the shit out of that. I had to keep this. It would make a pretty funny conversation starter at work. I folded the letter back up and slid it into my pocket. However, I suddenly heard the doorbell ringing.
Huh? Who's that?
I forgot that there's no sound effects in this fucking game. Fuck me! My audiophile senses are going off! I wasn't expecting anyone that day. I quickly rushed over and looked out the peephole of my door. Standing there was an older gentleman dressed in a butler suit, waiting patiently for me to open the door! Cautiously, I don't even know why I went there. Cautiously, I opened the door a crack. Hello! Thank you so much for the 100 gay bits. I hope you know that you are still set in real life. I was like, I gotta go, I love you. Don't work too hard, and if you do, make sure you hide it. Thank you so much. You too as well. Thank you, Unseen Hawk. Cautiously, I opened the door a crack and peered out at the visitor.
Can I help you?
Yes. I've come to receive your answer about the invitation you have received today.
What? Was this guy for real? First of all, I just got the letter and opened it less than a minute ago. Second, the letter doesn't even make sense. It couldn't be really happening.
You must have the wrong person.
I believe I do have the right person. If you don't wish to accept the invitation, please just say so. We've already arranged your mansion for an immediate move-in, and it would be a shame for it to be left empty.
Alright, Rocky Solid, make sure you get some good rest. And Murky Mortal, this isn't my game. This is my cringe game. None of this made sense. I was getting a mansion? I already had a house. What is this lottery? Why was I chosen? How did I even get chosen? The man continued to stare at me through the crack in the door, patiently awaiting my answer. I really didn't know how to answer him. Was this really happening? What's the catch?
The catch.
Yeah, what's the catch? What's the price for this? I'm not getting punked, right?
Well, should you say yes, you'll be moved immediately into your new estate. You will have a maid and no extra duties to attend to while you live there.
So this is the game to beat SM for cringe? Yeah! Yeah, this is a non-Reno game. While Seduce Me actually had some time placed into it, this is a non-Reno game.
No extra duties? Are you serious?
Very serious. You will be briefed in detail about your new life should you accept, but only if you accept.
This was ridiculous. How is this even happening? Okay, sure, because this is a game. I'm not sure what came over me, but this had to be more than just a dream. There was no way this could be fake. The letter was real. The guy at my door was real. I was pinching myself in case it wasn't. The man nodded before stepping back and gesturing to the driveway where a luxury car awaited us. It looked very expensive, and I suddenly felt very poor looking at it.
Well, what about...
Everything will be explained in the car, mistress.
I looked at the guy before looking back to the car. This all seemed surreal. It was ridiculous to say the least. Why the hell was I even going through with this? Frickin' YOLO. I mentally noted to slap myself for thinking that later. Oh look, my badly drawn background. I quickly excused myself to get dressed before leaving the house and entering the car. The seats was plush leather and the air conditioning was the perfect temperature. There was an opened bottle of champagne and glasses to drink from, as well as cans of soda should I not want alcohol, which I had earlier. There was also a giant flat screen TV installed by the partition. Was this how rich people drove around? The guy who led me to the car entered the driver's seat and began to drive off, lowering the partition to speak to me.
Your belongings will be brought to the mansion within the next 12 hours. We'll make sure to gather everything and clean everything out of your own establishment.
Wait, seriously? I got to keep my stuff? Sweet. I mean, I guess I could upgrade my consoles now that I was a noble, but how it was good to be able to keep my old things and not have to start fresh.
What about my job? Will I have to quit or something?
We have already taken the liberty of communicating with your overseers and efficiently removed the need for you to continue your employment.
What? That was quick. Were they expecting me to say yes? I leaned back against the leather seat.
Then what is my job? I need to work to keep money, right?
Having employment is unnecessary. You will be automatically provided financial backing for anything you require from a private investor involved with the government.
Wait, the government is involved with this?
Yes. You are not entering regular nobility. You are entering a small elite group of nobles created by the government as an economic and political experiment, backed financially by a very powerful investor.
Okay! I mean, what? Experiment? This is an experiment? What kind of experiment? I was getting lost, but the guy continued. I grew more and more wary of this. This had bad mojo written all over it. So I just had to be a rich person? No job? No worries. This is obviously a dream come true. But at the same time, this was beyond odd.
Is there anything else I should know?
You will have a personal maid who will be in charge of cleaning, cooking, and general duties around the house.
Wait, a maid? That's awesome! The situation became a little better, but I became curious about her.
A personal maid?
Yes. Currently, she is the best in her field, training-wise. This is her first time out of training, so we will be monitoring her for a few months to ensure she is doing her duties properly.
Maid training. I wondered how that would work, especially in today's modern age. I mean, maids were commonly known, but usually maids went into the field out of pure need for money. I felt kind of bad thinking about having a personal maid. Mickey goes, "Sorry, Lunar!" As if the driver read my mind, he continued to speak.
She is one of many who wanted the position to serve you.
Wait, she wanted to serve me? There's a bunch of maids who wanted to work with me? What?
Yes. We have a small academy, per se, of maids who train to be the best in their field. We then offer opportunities to be hired into an elite noble house to be part of the project.
Hey, pretty kitty! I mean, what?
Are they paid by the government?
No. They essentially live to serve and are provided shelter and food from the place they serve. Don't worry, though. Each maid goes through serious psychological assessment to ensure that they are 100% on board with this career before they even start training.
So they became maids out of their own free will?
Very much so. We pride ourselves in providing consensual servitude for this country and its needs. Many would claim maids and servants are forced into the business. We wish to show these people that that isn't always the case.
It was kind of true. Maids and servants were very much underappreciated and looked at as bottom barrel or even scandalous. I guess it was kind of good to see that there was a group committed to showing servants in a positive light.
You'll be able to view the entire house before your maid arrives, but please do not worry. The house has been cleaned and prepped for your arrival.
Thank you. I was both excited and anxious. This is going to be a whole new experience, and I could not wait to start this new life. After a while, we arrived to a private airport, and I was flown in a direction I couldn't calculate. Maybe it wasn't on purpose, but all I knew is that I was flown over a large stretch of forest land glittered with noble houses. When we touched down, I was guided into another car and was driven to my house through a paved forest path. I passed by multiple mansions and could not stop myself from staring at them until the trees blocked my line of sight. How was this place not marked on a map? I don't remember ever hearing about this patch of area in history classes or on the news. How was this place so well hidden? Finally, we stopped at the front of the large mansion, which I had to assume was mine.
Holy crap. That is huge.
This line out of context sounds so wrong. I had to open the window to look out at the size of the mansion. It was like a celebrity mansions I saw on TV.
Whoa. How the heck did I win this?
Have a good night, Dark Hollow.
A nationwide lottery. We simply picked your name out of a large selection of names.
Good night, Moonday. Seriously? A lottery? How is that lucky? Well, I guess I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. The guy who was leading me everywhere exited the car and opened my door for me, allowing me to exit the car and see the grandeur of my new home. I decided to climb up the large mansion steps and head for the front door. Before I could reach the knob, however, the guy who led me here rushed over and opened the door for me, showing that it was unlocked. I nodded to him before stepping inside.
This is seriously mine?
I looked around in pure surprise. The lobby was the size of my house. Well, previous house. I felt small in the lobby, yet I felt an air of regality standing in it. Was this a dream? I looked back to see the guy bow to me, holding out a key. The tag on the keys had front door engraved into its silver plate.
Your maid will be here momentarily. Please make yourself at home. I will take my leave and will leave everything that needs to be answered to your maid when she arrives. Have a good day.
Before I could protest, the man turned and left, closing the front door behind him. I had to wait for my maid to come? I was in the house alone? Which is hilarious, because I actually wrote that the maid was in the house. So there was a continuity error. God damn it, Michaela.
Yay!
Hello! My voice echoes into the lobby, reverberating off the walls and traveling through the air to dissolve into silence. For some reason, I felt satisfied, letting out that random shout. It was indeed out of nowhere, but I was content listening to my own voice echo through the air. As silence returned fully into the foyer, I looked around, taking in the size of the room and how much distance the sound traveled through. One thing was for sure, it wasn't an illusion. This room was very much real, and it was very much huge. Why do I write such idiot sentences?
Damn.
Might as well explore it. I wandered around the first floor to see a large kitchen, dining room, living room, study, and library. If this was a dream, I didn't want to wake up. Quickly climbed the stairs of the foyer, wanting to see the bedrooms and bathrooms. Of course, my brain imagined a king-size bed with gold and fur and fun things. What I found was slightly better.
What?
Oh, look, it's my wife. Standing in my room was a maid, standing at attention at attention from me with a smile on her face. She had black, practically dark blue hair and pretty blue eyes. Add on the fact that she was in a maid outfit, and my mind had no choice but to go into a wild frenzy. This was happening. There was a maid standing in my new room, as if she was meant to be there. She was so cute!
Welcome home, Master.
Master? What? My brain was going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Was this really happening? There was a maid in my room greeting me and calling me master, and I was having a really hard time trying to figure out what to say. The maid merely smiled at me, giggling softly, and I couldn't help but feel completely elated. What was going on with me? Why was I so attracted to this girl? This whole ordeal was getting into my head, and I liked it. The maid slightly moved one leg behind her other ankle and curtsied to me, as if she didn't notice the internal monologue I was having appearing on my face as a blush.
It's an honor to meet you. I look forward to serving you.
My wife is so cute. Hearts for my wife, ladies and gentlemen. Hearts for my wife.
Thanks? What do you plan to name me, Master? Wait, what?
Name her? What does she mean?
Our company prides itself in full service. When you call for me, I will respond immediately. But I need to know what name you want to call me by. Don't you have a name?
So basically, she's made, oh, I'm gay now. For some reason, the maid blushed a bit before nodding. Her blush made her even cuter.
I do have a name, but my priority is serving you under whatever name you give me. So please, name me whatever you like.
Bullshit.
Whatever I like?
The maid nodded to me with a smile. I felt kind of bad that she wanted me to name her. She wasn't a pet, but she said it was part of her job. I want to use your name, dude. The maid stared at me wide-eyed before blushing again. How is she so cute?
But my name? What's wrong with your name? Do you not like it? No, I love my name, but my job... You asked me to name you, but I want to use your name. What's your name? My name is Carolyn.
That's a cute name. Carolyn's face blushed even deeper red, and I couldn't help but laugh.
I'll call you by your real name, Carolyn.
Carolyn then took out a small writing pad and pen, from her under her apron, opening it to its first fresh page, and looked to me with a smile.
So, Master, what would you like for lunch?
We were giving hearts to my wife. My well-deserving wife.
Hey.
As soon as she said lunch, my stomach practically began to grumble wildly. Food sounded really good right now. But my mind was fixated on the fact that she was taking my order.
Lunch, right.
There were so many options, so many ideas running through my head. I could eat anything. I could have her make anything I wanted. That's what being a rich person is about, right? I looked at Carolyn before tilting my head.
What would you suggest?
Me? Well, I actually am the best at making homemade pasta and steak. My favorite meal to make is mushroom steak pasta with garlic sauce. It takes a little bit, but it's well worth the wait.
God damn it, I heard mushroom steak pasta with garlic sauce and my stomach just growled. I'm like, God damn it. My mouth practically salivated at the idea. Steak, pasta, yum! I felt myself not unconsciously to the suggestion, making Carolyn nod with a smile and write down notes in her notepad.
Is there anything else you need?
I don't think so, no.
All right, I'll start lunch then.
And with that, Carolyn quickly left the room, determined to make my meal. I watched her leave, almost catching a glimpse under her skirt as she rushed out. I blushed, but shook my head and looked around the room, clearing my throat. Yep, this is heaven. This was some sort of rich person heaven with cute maids. I walked over and jumped on my bed, feeling its soft mattress making me melt into comfortable pleasure. This was the best thing that could have happened to me, and I was incredibly happy. I closed my eyes and let reality seep into my head as I drifted into a joyful nap. Eventually, I did wake up and eat. As I ate, all of my belongings were brought in by a group of movers. They were extremely meticulous and delicate with each new item they brought into my new home. They even hooked up my consoles to a new gigantic flat-screen TV and modified the consoles to run in perfect HD. This was perfect. One thing made me curious, though.
So, how did I get into this lottery? There's no way this could be a big thing.
Well, the proprietor behind the lottery did select the lottery pool from the middle class. From what I know of the lottery, they have to be single middle-class citizens around the ages of 22 to 30.
Really? Why so young? And why single?
Because I wrote it to be that way.
I guess it has something to do with management. Bringing a couple or even a family might upset the results of the experiment.
As if she said something wrong, Carolyn covered her mouth with her hand, looking to me in worry.
Oh, you mean the economic experiment? The driver guy who picked me up already told me about it. Why do you look so worried?
Carolyn relaxed slightly before lowering her hand and shaking her head.
I'm sorry. It's my first time out as a real maid. I don't know what or what not to say.
You can say anything you want. Carolyn stared at me with a gigantic blush on her face. Was she not expecting me to say that? She is my wife. She is free to say anything she desires. I smiled and chuckled a bit at her red face.
What's so funny?
You just look very cute, especially when you blush.
The red tints on her face deepened as she looked down at her skirt, trying to calm down. How is she this adorable? Why the fuck do I keep mentioning that she's adorable? Oh, wait, because this was a non-arena project and I needed the words. I smiled before sipping again from my teacup. The driver suggested that I try it out, and I had to admit it was amazing. It wasn't bitter or lacking in any way. It had me asking for more. By my fifth cup, I had emptied the teapot of hot water. I didn't need any more tea, so I stopped Carolyn from brewing more. As I finished my tea, I handed the cup and saucer to Carolyn. As she turned, however, a small napkin flew off of the serving tray she was holding and landed behind her on the floor.
Oh, I'll get...
Hey guys, there's a CG coming up. It's lewd.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, I was almost face to face with a pair of frilly panties. My instantly went brick and I couldn't help but stare with my mouth agape. I wasn't sure what to say as Carolyn continued her bent-over journey to pick up the napkin on the floor. My face grew even redder as more of her panties revealed themselves to me. They were banned from Twitch. Bye, guys! I felt every nerve in my body wanted me to turn away from something, but my mind was not allowing me to be polite. Hey, if Shenron Kagura is still allowed in fucking Twitch, this is too. On one hand, it was rude to stare. On the other, I couldn't help but freeze.
Do you like what you see?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Do my ears deceive me? Did she really just ask that? The look on her face told me that her question was not a trick of the mind. She winked playfully at me as I looked at her, then hit her panties, then back at her. I tried to move my mouth to make words, but my voice continued distorted silence, making me moron of the night. Carolyn giggled before coming back up and brushing out her skirt, hiding her backside at last. It was definitely payback for making her blush.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You're fine. You're fine.
I shook my head and cleared my throat. Something told me that she did that on purpose. However, I didn't want to make assumptions. I just got here anyway, so my mind could be playing tricks on me. Carolyn excused herself in the night. I was left alone to my thoughts. What is a NaNoRino game? Oh, look at NaNoRino. N-A-N-O-R-E-N-O. And it's a visual novel creation game. You have to make a visual novel from top to bottom in 1 month. So, yeah, and we're banned from Twitch. Good night, everybody! The artist draws very shoujo style, very young chibi shoujo style. That's why she looks young, but I promise you she is of age.
Wow, this is really happening, huh?
I was really here. I was in a mansion that I had come to win with a cute maid to serve me. Lady Luck was kind, and I was beyond grateful. And I could now play all of my video games whenever I wanted and not have a care in the world. I didn't have to work hard, and I could relax my day away. Something in the pit of my stomach reminded me that a catch would come up to bite me at any time, but for now, I was content with my situation. Going to bed that night was like floating on the clouds. Waking up was even better, surprisingly. I stretched out and yawned, feeling the bed adjust to my movement. The mattress practically begged me to stay longer, but I knew that I couldn't stay in bed forever. I looked at the time on my phone. 10 o'clock a.m.
Damn, I slept a lot.
I sometimes forget that in this game the MC is denial of people flirting with him. I rolled out of bed and stood up, stretching up and feeling absolutely amazing. Since I didn't have work, I could laze around and play video games if I wanted to. However, first thing was first. Breakfast. I started to turn towards my door when a knock suddenly echoed from it. It was gentle, as if it didn't want to disturb me.
Yes?
Oh, you're awake. May I come in, Master? I made breakfast.
Huh? Breakfast? Oh, sure. Come in.
Carolyn opened the door, and immediately my nose was filled with the smell of amazing food. I watched as Carolyn brought in a tray of pancakes, eggs, bacon, fruit, and juice with perfect ease. Speaking of juice, I'm going to take a small juice. Delicious. It's like, delicious. Where was I? Yeah, my mouth is already wanting to dig in just from the sight.
I hope you don't mind what I made. I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, no, not at all. This looks great. Thank you.
Carolyn brought the tray to my desk, which had a fancy and comfy leather chair for me to sit in. I quickly walked over and sat down as Carolyn poured me some fresh juice from the glass bottle to my empty cup.
So, Master, do you have anything planned for today?
I looked at Carolyn, a little confused.
Oh, no, I don't believe so. I kind of quit my job so I can play games and stuff. Do I have any jobs while I'm here?
To my relief, Carolyn shook her head with a smile.
No, I just wanted to ask. Usually nobles go out and do stuff since they don't have work.
Well, I don't exactly know where I am on the map, so it's kind of hard to go out.
Well,
Before Carolyn could explain more, a light buzz echoed from the... God damn it, where are the sound effects? Light buzz echoed from the room, making Carolyn turn to the door. On the other side of the door was a metal rectangular interface. It was too far away for me to read, but there was a blinking white light that followed the sound of the buzz.
Huh? What is that?
Carolyn stepped towards the monitor and pressed her fingers against the screen a couple of times. The monitor made a blip sound before showing the front door. When the heck did I get that? I waited, being the monitor was too far from where I was, and watched Carolyn fiddle with the monitor a bit.
someone's at the door, Master.
Huh? Someone came to visit me? That was unexpected. How did anyone I know learn about where I lived? I looked at Carolyn, but stopped myself from asking her anything as I took in the look on her face. She had a look of both concern and almost fear. Was she okay?
Hey, are you all right?
I'm fine, Master. Should I go get it?
I nodded to her, standing up as well. I might as well greet them and learn who the visitor was and why they were visiting. Oh God, enter me and Kayla. Something in my stomach told me that this was the catch I was missing. The visitor would reveal the catch to being a noble. Carolyn headed downstairs with me right behind her. As I reached the middle of one of the staircases, I stopped and watched Carolyn continue towards the door. She reached and grasped the door handle, turning it and pulling the door open. Then I heard something fly through the air and embed itself into a surface. It's called a knife.
Damn it! Missed.
I instantly turned to see a knife with a red handle embedded into the railing farther down the stairs, equal level to Carolyn's head. My mind went black at the sight. Why was the knife there? Oh look, it's Bitch Face McGee and Red Lolly Bitch. I turned to see Carolyn backed away from the door, staring intensely at the two women that stood at the doorway. One girl dressed in a red maid uniform smirked as she stared at Carolyn. She looked practically crazy, her eyes almost glowing in excitement and fury. Oh, it's the missing episode of ReZero! The other woman was someone who looked to be a little older than I was. She wore a business suit and had an air of snobbish poise about her. Something about her didn't let me like her, but despite her being pretty.
You're quick, aren't you? The Academy must have beat the living hell out of you to make you that fast. Oh, you're not gonna talk to me? Typical of the teacher's pet. Then again, you always were the lonely, pathetic type. You're not funny. I think I'm hilarious. Everyone at the Academy thought so. Being the second best had its perks. At least you remember who is the top of the class. You may be the top of the class, but let me show you who's the real top between us!
That's a sex joke.
Red, stop wasting my time and fight.
Yes, ma'am!
Why are my lines so loud? I watched as the maid named after the color of her dress charged at Carolyn with another knife. I gripped to the railing, wondering what the hell was happening. Before I could shout and protest, though Carolyn quickly slid to the side, grabbing the railing of the stairs opposite of the one I was on and flipping over it. And flipping over it. What? I stared wide-eyed as Carolyn gained a look of pure determination as she glared at Red.
Oh, putting your training to use. At least this will be fun.
Red then ran up and grabbed the railings, vaulting over and thrusting her knife at Carolyn, who swiftly turned down the stairs and watched the knife embed itself into the wall.
Stand still!
No. Red pulled it out with almost monster strength and charged again at Carolyn, who quickly ran backwards to keep distance.
What is going on?
Why are my lines so loud? The woman who watched the fight looked up at me, taking in the side of my body before smirking.
So you must be the new noble. Interesting. I never thought a middle-class rat would make their way into our society.
Why are Kayla's lines so quiet? I glared. What the hell was her deal?
My name is Angela Worthing, the current top-ranking noble in the area. However, don't bother trying to remember that. You won't be a noble long enough for my name to be of any use.
Angela smirked in my confusion.
I hope you enjoyed the little time you had here. Too bad I'll be taking your noble title away.
Huh? What does she mean? I wasn't going to be a noble for long? I just got here. Why were the maids fighting? Why was she so cocky?
What are you talking about?
Angela looked at the maids as if she was going to ignore me, but she spoke to me with her focus on the fight.
Do you know why you were brought here? I'll give you a friendly hint. It's not just because you won some little lottery.
I looked to the fight between the maids and then back at the woman. It made no sense, so I didn't answer. Angela took my silence as my reply and continued.
I'm sure the man that brought you here spouted out about this being a financial experiment for us. While that is true, it's an investment experiment for the maids.
This is about the maids? That made no sense, yet at the same time, something was clicking in my head. The woman turned to me at last, making me look back at her.
We are part of a government experiment to develop a new method of discreet military weaponry. Those maids are not just maids, but they're soldiers.
What? Soldiers?
Angela smirked at the surprise on my face. Carolyn was a soldier? She was a cute maid! That didn't make any sense!
They are trained just like military soldiers and are tested to rise above their ranks within a set amount of time. Should they succeed, they are offered to become part of the experiment. Many try, few succeed, and even fewer accept the deal.
But this is ridiculous. Why would anyone accept this kind of deal?
Because some would rather help and serve their country in the long run than die on the battlefield.
For some reason, that made sense. If you died in the battle, you died. However, if this was a military experiment, then this would help the future. The question was how. That logic made no sense past Michaela. What the fuck kind of drugs were you on? That made no goddamn sense. You know this. How could you excuse that? You're a fucking idiot. Love, future Michaela. As if the noblewoman near me read my mind, she turned back to the maids.
Red, attack the master.
What? What? I shot my head to the maid in question as she looked at me with a large grin. She jumped away from Carolyn and hopped up into the rail on the opposite of the stairs. Like a ninja! She ran up the... God damn it, my descriptors are fucking terrible. She ran up the railing and across the top rails. Before sliding down the stairs, I was raising her knife to slice my head off. God damn it, grammar, fucking my life. No!
It's more a typo than grammar.
It's just... Out of nowhere, Carolyn jumped over the railing in front of me and grabbed at Red's arms, protecting me from Red's knife.
How sweet! Protecting your master unarmed! You must be stupider than I thought!
Oh, look at that. This is really cool CG, guys. Yeah.
I'll protect my master with my life! That's the life we live!
This isn't some cheesy romance game, oh pathetic one. Don't be so dramatic!
Fourth wall breaking. Carolyn glared as Red pressed against her hands. Now, trying not to slash at Carolyn's throat.
I'm curious, though. How fast did you open your legs for your master? I bet you suck in bed as much as you do at being a maid.
I don't need to open my legs to be the best maid I can be. I didn't have to sleep my way to the top, unlike you.
I'll kill you, bitch!
I could only step back in fear as Carolyn pushed Red off of the railing and vaulted over it after her. Carolyn's expression contorted to become full of pure rage as she began to fight offensively, using a convenient nearby broom like a long-handled hammer against Red and her knife.
Red, beside me.
Instantly, Red stopped defending and quickly jumped to her master's side, glaring at Carolyn. However, I could tell that Red was twitching and itching to keep fighting. Carolyn stopped as well and glared at Red in silent contempt. I felt both protected and proud to see her defend me like she did. At the same time, I was dumbstruck at how skilled she was at fighting.
These women are trained to do one thing. Serve. They are dedicated to serving their masters and not only care for their home, but protect them with their life.
That's the end of the game, guys. That's a good end of the game right there.
The government wants to essentially create a small private force of fighters to protect and assassinate important leaders. That way, we can secretly have the upper hand against anyone who tries to overthrow us from the inside out. Think of it like the Secret Service. Only 10 times better, without the hassle of having moronic hirelings as the agents.
We're essentially the next best thing to come out of military funding. Add the fact that we have boobs, and you will never suspect a thing.
God damn it, Michaela, you should be ashamed for writing that fucking line.
The reason these girls are maids is to train them to blend into their surroundings perfectly. It's one thing to see a man in a suit with an earpiece and assume they're guardians. It's another to suspect a servant who is cleaning a vase or sweeping the floor.
I was stupid back then. I don't know why I made Kayla so quiet and why my lines are so fucking loud. I looked at Red instinctively, watching her smirk widely as she lifted her skirt a bit and revealed a line of knives sheathed in a ring around her petticoat. I could feel the blood in my head rain into my chest, the sight striking fear into my core. I looked at Carolyn, and she still had a hard glare on her face, staring into Red's eyes. Did she have any secret weapons on her? I now didn't know who I was looking at when I looked at the maid beside me. Both a soldier and a maid, she was a scary force to be reckoned with.
Red, continue the fight.
Finally! You're mine, bitch!
Why is my line so loud? As if the itch Red held had been completely wiped away and replaced with pleasure. Red charged once again at Carolyn with a look of deep excitement on her face. Carolyn brought up her broom and stood her ground, returning to the fight with Red into the offensive.
What are you doing?
Before I could step in, Angela stepped in front of me to bar me from stepping in. I glared as she crossed her arms.
This is part of the experiment. We have to test the results in the only way we can, by having them fight.
Fight? What did this become? A battle royale? I opened my mouth, but the noblewoman continued.
That's why we're here. We represent our maids and become the controllers for the experiment. If our maids can protect us perfectly, then the experiment is successful.
Angela turned her body to look over the fighting maids, causing me to do the same. The maids were clashing weapons with ridiculous precision and force. You could definitely tell that they were trained in combat just from how they threw their hits.
I will tear you to shreds!
Red has served me well for almost a full year now. She is devoted to being the best. But she told me about your maid. Apparently she's the best maid fighter from the academy they train at.
I looked at Carolyn and mentally agreed just from the sight. Red had a very hard offensive, but Carolyn kept up the defense masterfully. They both looked equally matched, to say the least. For some reason, there was a certain grace Carolyn had while fighting Red, which made her stand out. Maybe it was because she was my maid, or maybe it was because of her cute appearance. I couldn't tell. I shook my head wildly. Wait a minute, why was I so accepting? How could I be so accepting of this? This was too strange. So strange that my dyslexia fucking got over my brain.
I'm actually very unimpressed. She may be the best in the academy, but she has yet to even bring Red down. She must have been overestimated.
I glared at Angela, suddenly becoming insulted. Screw you. Angela laughed before clapping her hands together, making a large noise echoed through the lobby.
Red, enough!
Red jumped away from Carolyn and panted, still smirking wildly at her with deadly intent. However, she moved the knife in her hand under her skirt and sheathed it back with her other knives in her petticoat. Angela crossed her arms and looked at Carolyn up and down with a raised eyebrow.
This is a waste of my time. It's obvious that you need to train more, Red, if you hope to properly bring this maid down.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I know I can beat her. I was just getting warmed up.
Nevertheless, it looks like this little fight will have to wait. I have an appointment to keep.
Yes, ma'am.
Angela looked at me with a businesslike stare, making me tense up slightly.
I'll give you a week to prepare your maid. If your maid can beat Red, which I highly doubt, then I'll leave you alone and you can remain one of us.
You're on. When you lose, though, you'll have to kiss your master goodbye.
Why does this look a bit familiar? I don't know. It's probably because it's one of my games. What? She'd have to leave? What? That made no sense at all. Angela circled in my sudden change of emotion as Red laughed.
I'm no longer in training, and I've already proven myself to Miss K and the rest of the Academy heads. I'm not monitored by the Academy anymore, so I can continue to serve my master even if I lose a fight, which has never happened.
Red turned her gaze back to Carolyn, smirking and running her tongue over the top of her teeth before continuing her explanation.
You, on the other hand, are fresh out of the Academy. If you fail to prove that you can protect your master before your third check-in, you'll be shipped right back to the school, and we'll have to start at the bottom of the barrel, where you belong.
The look on Carolyn's face made it clear she was telling the truth.
That's not going to happen.
Don't get so confident. Don't forget that you have to do your maid duties as well. If you fail to do your duties and keep the house clean like the good maid you're supposed to be, even if you somehow manage to get stronger than me, you'll still be shipped out.
This was beyond insanity. How the heck we were supposed to manage this? How was Carolyn supposed to train and be a maid at the same time? Angela then turned and began to walk towards the front door.
If you lose your maid, you'll lose your noble status. I suggest taking the week to pack your bags, middle-class rat.
With that, Red led her master out of the house, closing the door behind them.